I don't know what that means.
That's from Home Alone, bud. Home Alone. I got
that's
it.
my boy, Brad. There we go.
Welcome to the Wagon Fantasy Football Podcast. It's Brad, it's Eric, and it's Josh, and we will not leave you home alone on this Friday night, maybe Saturday morning for you. I don't know. But we're here. We're going to do a little way too early pre-draft QB rankings, guys. Woo-wee.
Rankings,
I'm gonna tell you what,
guys?
This wasn't that easy as I thought it would be. I thought it was be a cinch. But we're doing it with a dynasty aspect to it. Not just next year, but how does it look
Down the
this
road.
year, next year, 2-3 years down the road? So dynasty. We added that into with it being the off season to just put a little spice on it, a little flair.
Little sauce.
Sauce? Szechuan sauce?
If they have it,
Oh,
should
Szechuan.
have brought it back from Milan, and they didn't. I was very upset.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
Ruined it. I love Rick and Morty, but they ruined that. Them bringing that back, sadly.
All right, boys. How you doing? How we doing on this Friday? For me, it's day. You all, it's probably night. It'll be day for me for about another 3 hours. So
That's wild. I'm good. I had 3 hot dogs for lunch today, so I am pumped. I'm living the dream right now.
these
I love hot dogs.
full wieners.
All the drinks.
I just got back from this place called Cinnaholic. Today was a serious cheat day. I got a cinnamon roll, and it
As
was
opposed to
top.
every other day.
Dude, I've lost 20 pounds, so I don't care.
Oh, good for you. Congratulations.
Yeah, Google me. So anyway, 20. So I got the cinnamon roll. It's called a Cinna Stack because then they put icing on top of it, and then they put cookie dough on top of that,
Okay.
and then they put toppings on it. I
Okay.
opted to go with caramel and chocolate chips.
My lord.
And let me tell you, it was too much.
You got a dentist appointment tomorrow?
Yeah, that's
that's
diabetes in a stack right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, that hurt real bad. Completely unnecessary. I just want to tell you guys, completely unnecessary.
Was it good? Did you finish it?
Oh yeah, finished it like a man. Felt real bad about it too, but I couldn't let it beat me.
It was me against the stack, and I had to do it.
and I won.
you go.
But I will never do that again. I know
Battle of man versus food. No, I'm just kidding. Copyright. Please don't do it.
that. It felt like it, dude. It was the battle of the bulge. Oof. But I didn't really eat dinner. I ate like a little peanut butter sandwich for dinner, so I was prepared.
That's fair. I too have not eaten dinner yet.
Well, for you, it's a little late, bud.
Yeah, I'll figure out something. Whatever.
You got to drink some Monsters and grind your face off.
I don't have any. It's sad.
No,
You used to do that. Remember when we all worked together and every Friday Eric would go to the gas station and make sure that he had his Monsters so he could grind his face off?
It's not
Rock
Monsters.
Rockstars.
Thank you,
Rockstar,
Brad.
sorry.
Boy, you think you know a guy.
I know, right?
We'll get to
What
know
was
each
it?
other better soon, bud. Don't worry.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Brad,
but
how
then
are you doing?
he had a second kid, man, and that kind of put the squad.
Yeah. Plus, I really am trying to. I was doing really good with the energy drinks at the beginning of the year. I'm not doing so great with them now, but I've been trying to cut back on them. But they're rough. It's tough.
Switch to coffee, bud.
Don't want to get rid of all the stimulants. Trying.
No, you want to get stimulated. Trust me.
Uh-uh.
Government
By the
has
way.
stimulated me 3 times already, and I'm hoping for a 4th. All right, boys.
All right, I'm doing good. Josh, why don't you tell them about the who brought us here? Who brought us here today?
Oh, we were brought to you by Fantasy Sports Alliance. Fantasy Sports Alliance has been in business for over 20 years. It is the widest spreading fantasy platform in all of the world. Not largest, but the widest spread. You can check out our website at fsa-fr.com. We got players in almost every continent except Antarctica. Can't nail that one down yet, but we're working on it.
With the
Now-
Penguins.
We're getting there. We're getting there. Friggin' Penguins. Well, there's like 2,000 people that live there, but not during football season because it's the most important time of year. Now, that's pretty close. Check it out at fsa-fr.com. Go check out a league where there's like 100 different leagues to choose from. There's an arm and leg league with just quarterbacks and kickers. There's redraft league. There's Dynasty. There's a monkey knife fight. There's veterans league. There's so many options for you to get involved. You should check it out.
Always
And then
growing.
it's always growing. It's always expanding. The owner, Brian, our fearless leader, is always open to new ideas, ready to grow. We have Discord communication, so you can communicate with anyone from around the world very easily. You can check it out again, fsa-fr.com. They're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch, actually, because we broadcast on Twitch. Don't forget to check out our sister show, The Average Bros, every Tuesday night. And then on Wednesday nights, we have the Fanatically Real broadcast brought to you by FSA. And Brian is that. That is the godfather of FSA, right? Don. Yeah, all right. Back to you in the studio, Brad.
Well, hey, just remember, it's not about the length, it's about the girth, right?
Don't approve that message. All right, go ahead, Brad.
All right, let's talk to you about football darts. Footballdarts.com takes all the skill of darts, mixes it in with football to get a unique dart playing experience, right? Unique dart boards made for this special way to play darts. It ain't your cricket. It ain't your 501. It ain't your, what's the other one everybody plays? I can't remember. I used to play with a lot of darts, but all your different ways of playing darts, just a different way. It's something different. But go to footballdarts.com, check them out. Bunch of different boards they have there. Bunch of different kinds of custom. Use IPlayFSA, promo code IPlayFSA. Get 30% off. Pretty sure that promo code's still valid.
It sure is. I think
It is. Sure.
it's definitely showing on the screen, so.
Boom.
Okay, boys. Before we get into the show, let's talk. I got to talk one little thing. There was a trade that went down in the Alpha Dynasty League in FSA.
Ooh, let's hear it.
All right, so one side gave up LaMichael P. Ryan, the 103,
Okay.
a first next year, and
Okay.
a second next year for DK Metcalf and Alvin Kamara.
Oh, whoever got DK and Alvin, good for you.
Yeah. You yep. 2 first rounders for and LaMichael P. Ryan for those two. Yeah. Well done. That's a haul.
Ooh,
For you.
Yeah.
was it you, Brad? Was it you?
No, it was not me. I had nothing to do with this trade. It popped up today, big blockbuster deal. I would have to look. I can't remember exactly what's going on with the teams, but it looks like somebody's building towards the future here, taking a couple first rounders. I getting rid of Alvin Kamara. That's risky. I don't know if I approve that message.
Of getting rid of Kamara and Dynasty? Probably not. And Metcalf, I wouldn't get rid of Metcalf.
Yeah, the two combined kind of what push it over. If it was just one of them, if it was just Alvin Kamara for those, I'd be like, okay, I think maybe the picks are better.
Sure.
There's a 103 this year and a super flex. This is super flex. So you can get one of the quarterbacks. Maybe you get your Mac Jones.
Sure.
But
Gross.
yeah,
That's my quarterback.
that's my quarterback. Calm down.
Kyle Shanahan yelled that at a pro day or something. I don't know.
All right, so
not my
yeah,
quarterback.
I just want to bring that trade up, and then I want to talk real quick. I want to throw this question. I asked you, Eric, before the show, but I want to ask Josh this. Bringing up Mac Jones, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I've heard some speculation that maybe that's just a smokescreen. Maybe it is with the Niners. If they took Justin Fields instead of Mac Jones at number 3, would he be your quarterback 1 off the board in Superflex?
To the moon.
Would he be? He would be he'd be over Trevor Lawrence?
No, I don't think it would be over Trevor Lawrence, but I like how you zoomed in. But it's pretty close. He's because of what Kyle Shanahan can do with the quarterback. That's really what the appeal is. But
let's say you don't need a
I
quarterback this year. Let's say you don't need a quarterback this year.
Then definitely.
You're okay at quarterback.
Yeah, then definitely. But I mean, something tells me if I have the number 1 pick in a super flex league, it was probably because I had a bad quarterback. And if I needed someone for this year, it would be Trevor.
Maybe you had Dak Prescott and he got hurt.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely it's possible. But there was an interesting thing that came out about Trevor Lawrence over the weekend is that and people were debating about how committed he is because he said that football isn't his life. Like when he's there, he's committed. He'll do everything he can, but he does have other interests outside of football. So a lot of people have been comparing him to Andrew Luck, which Andrew Luck was pretty good, but he did walk away from the game in his late 20s.
I mean, he was a beat up, broken down man.
That's what I'm saying, though. But they were saying, if Trevor Lawrence isn't really that interested, is he gonna? And they were talking about how the best players eat, sleep, and breathe football or their sport, like Tiger golf, Michael Jordan basketball. I mean, Tom Brady is stretching his career into his mid-40s because he loves football that much. And they're saying that the absolute best are those types of guys. And if Trevor's not that type of guy, can you really
But is
expect
this
him?
just draft day talk of like we've said all the good because we've talked everything's been positive about Trevor Lawrence since the day he walked onto Clemson, right?
Since he was
Before
born.
yeah. And then isn't this like the way it goes? Like, okay, somebody's got to start poking holes. Like, oh, maybe he's not committed to the game. I mean, he played with a busted up shoulder in the national championship game. I mean, when he already knew he was the number one pick. So,
Yeah, I think he's going to be. I still think
he could have opted out this year. If he would have opted out this year, he still would be the number one quarterback going in.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that he could have. So, I mean, it shows you he was more dedicated than some of these guys, more dedicated than all Jamar Chase.
Exactly. Or
more dedicated.
Or Bateman, who came back for a little bit, then left again.
Yeah, Rashad Bateman, in and out, boom, boom, in and out, boom, boom.
Lost 2 inches his birthday. Lost 2 inches.
He 2 inches and 30 pounds, bud. That's kind of a big deal. Kind of a big deal. You don't go from 6'2", 220 to 6 foot 190. That's kind of a stretch. Anyway,
actually,
he was supposed to at 6'4", 220, wasn't he?
No, he was 6'2", 220, and he shrunk to 6
No, he
foot
was 6'4", I think, like 2 years ago.
Yeah. His listings have consistently gone down.
He's got that Benjamin Button disease, boys.
Oh my gosh, that's what I was going to say. The Benjamin Button disease. This isn't good for Rashad Bateman. No, he's still a good player. I'm not too concerned about that. I think
people are going off programs, and everybody knows that. Allen Iverson was always listed at 6 foot for the Sixers, and
5'10" maybe.
We're not going to talk a lot about rookies, but I did notice like in this draft, there's not a lot of outside receivers in this one. Last draft was the year of the Giants. They were all 6'4". I know because Eric drafted all of them in our rookie draft last year.
Yeah, he did.
If you're 6'4", Eric wants you on the team. You sign him up.
Yeah. 6'4", 215, 220. Come on down.
All these guys are a bit smaller. Devonta Smith, he's not a big guy.
Waddle's not even.
Waddle's not big.
Waddle's not big. Jamar Chase isn't big. These aren't huge receivers,
but bigger than those guys. But yeah, he's not huge.
Yeah, but none of these guys are like the boys. They ain't like these big boys that came out last year on Eric's team.
Yeah,
Eric wants all the big boys.
All the big boys.
If you're a little boy, he don't want nothing to do with you.
Michael Pittman, come on down.
Big boys. All right, so just something to think about. I mean, this class isn't. I don't think it's as deep as I thought it was initially, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean,
I think there's some diamonds in the rough.
James Robinson was an undrafted dude that nobody drafted, and he ended up being a RB1 last year. I mean, there's always rookies that come out of nowhere that we're not expecting to.
Where did Justin Herbert go in drafts last year?
Yeah, even a Superflex, he went pretty late.
Yeah, it's true. All right. Speaking of Superflex, Brad, you guys ready to get to some rankings?
Yeah, let's do this quarterback ranking. So, like I said, we're doing Dynasty style here with our quarterbacks. So, going forward, none of us know each other's picks right now either. So, this is going to be a surprise for all of us. I think all of us know number one, and after that, it's game on.
Okay.
All right. You guys want to do number one together?
Sure.
1, 2, 3. Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes.
Okay, thanks.
Did we just become best friends?
Yes.
Do you want to go do karate in the garage?
Good housekeeping.
John Stamos.
All right. So Patrick Mahomes, I mean, do we really need to say anything? Do you guys worry at all with what they've been doing with the cap, where the money's going, the offensive line not being maybe what it was, affecting him down the road, getting beat up throughout the season, taking a lot of hits? Do you worry about that at all for his future?
Nope.
Okay.
No. Andy Reid and those guys are going to prioritize his protection. They've already made some moves for offensive line in free agency. They got rid of some older guys. They brought in some young blood, but 120 total touchdowns in the past 3 seasons. That's all you have to say about Patrick Mahomes.
And Andrew Reid's offense, which is very quarterback friendly.
Yep.
And Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce's still there. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Nothing bad to say about Patrick Mahomes. He is the best at what he does.
Yep. So number 2, though, I think we might differ here. Eric, you want to go first with yours?
From a dynasty perspective, I think upside-wise plus age, I went with Josh Allen.
I did too.
My boys.
Did we all go? We say together with you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the Stephon Diggs being there long term helps me make it. If Stephon Diggs was a 1-year guy, I don't know if I would be going with this. Because yes, his accuracy improved, but your accuracy improves when you get a solid wide receiver that can,
get open downfield, and you like to throw the ball downfield,
contract the ball down the field. So, yes, and we all know he's got a cannon on an arm. He finally threw one. Has he thrown an interception in the red zone yet? He threw one in the playoffs, right?
Yeah, but he's gotten better every year he's played.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They have just surrounded him with the right staff. They've given him the right tools, the right weapons. It wouldn't be surprising if they got a better running back this offseason, maybe in the draft. I think they really are giving him everything he needs to be successful. I love Josh Allen's long-term value here. Love it.
And he's a big body guy, so the injuries, we're not too worried about that. I think that kind of helps us. When you talk about a rushing quarterback with – you remember that year when I said he led all quarterbacks in rushing touchdowns and you guys scoffed at me?
Yep.
Yeah, we probably did. Well, I didn't think he would throw 37 touchdowns also.
I'll scoff at you again.
Or complete almost 70% of his passes. But like you said,
I think that's
every year.
The completion percentage is what's probably throwing us all off.
Yeah, because I remember sitting there saying how bad he was at throwing the long ball, and I was like, you know what Kirk Cousins was bad at? Throwing the long ball. This isn't good for Stephon Diggs. Well, he got a little bit better last year.
The difference was Cousins was bad with Diggs. Josh Allen was like, can I just get somebody that can get open down there?
Yeah. Well, he's got that now, and it seems to have worked out for him. So,
like Patrick Mahomes, I'm pretty sure if you take Tyreek Hill away and he can't just zoom and let it go and just let Tyreek Hill catch up to the ball.
Yeah, and they need someone to fill that third receiver role. I don't know. I mean, they have a couple guys on the team. They'll probably draft someone in the second, third round, something like that. We'll see.
Yep.
The thing that made the difference for me with him was 8 rushing touchdowns, but he's their first option in the red zone. If they're on the 5-yard line, they're not giving it to Zach Moss. They're giving it to him.
He's their lead back.
Yeah.
Okay. Before we get to number 3, because I think we're going to split up, we did miss a little bit of news. I do want to talk some running back news. I'm going to sprinkle that in here right now.
Let's do it.
Arizona Cardinals got their lead back. Who called this? One of you guys called this last week.
Eric.
You, Eric?
Yeah.
Yes, James Conner at Arizona.
Spoken
and I was like, I think
distance.
Yep. Yeah. So talk about it, Eric. You called it. What do you think about this?
I thought it was a low risk – Yeah, low risk because they didn't pay him a lot. What is he getting? $1 million?
Is it a 1-2-year deal? It's one of those short deals. It's again short deal because of cap.
Yeah, small signing bonus. If he returns to form like he did with Pittsburgh, I mean, that's phenomenal value for him. Mm-hmm. Do I think it's really going to affect Chase Edmonds a whole lot?
He'll be similar to last year now.
He's healthy, but when was the last time James Conner was healthy? Like, it doesn't really move the needle for me so much with that offense. But if he's healthy and he returns to form, like, that's great value for them. But Kyler Murray is still the first rushing option there. So we'll see what happens.
But it gives them, I think, a guy who can pound it up the middle, which I don't think Chase Edmonds was a guy who could.
No.
And Connor has shown that he can get your 4 yards in a cloud of dust.
Yeah, he can run between the tackles a little bit. So we'll see if he holds up again this year. He had some off-season surgery, like a turf toe-like injury. I guess that's fixed now. So hopefully he gets back to where he was. But he's had shoulder injuries and all sorts of fun stuff. So he worries me. But it's a low-cost move with a lot of upside if he gets back to where he was with Pittsburgh.
Yep. All right, number 3 at the QB position. Josh, go ahead and give me your number 3 quarterback.
I went with the little guy. I decided not to count him out. I'm going with Kyler Murray.
Ooh, I almost went there, but I went a different way. Eric, where'd you go?
Oh,
go ahead, Josh. Go ahead, Josh.
I was going to say he was the number 1 quarterback in all of fantasy football last year. The big reason was his rushing stats went up. His stats actually didn't change that much. He threw for about 200 more yards. He had about 25 more completions. His completion percentage did go up by about 3 points, so it's at 67%. He threw 6 more touchdowns, but the big difference was his rushing numbers. He ran for 800 yards last year, and he ran in 11 rushing touchdowns compared to 4 the year before. Kyler Murray was very good on the ground, making things happen. So that's why I decided to go with him, his age, his ability to do things on the ground. I think we're still going to get quite a few good years out of him because he's not a run-first guy, even though he can run. I think that Kyler Murray is going to be very good for years to come. I'm very excited about his future.
Eric, where'd you go with the number 3?
From Dynasty perspective, I went with Prescott.
Dak.
At 3. That defense ain't getting any better.
Do you worry about the ankle?
Yes, of course.
Do you worry about the cap situation they're in and not being able to protect him?
A little.
And the weapons
they still have a very good offensive line. They're a little long in the tooth and a little creaky, but man, when they're healthy, they're like one of the best in the business. So for at least the first, probably 8 games, they'll probably be okay. We'll see what happens after that. But that defense isn't getting any better. He's probably going to sling it 50 times a game for the foreseeable future. And if they get Kyle Pitts by some miracle, then they're going to have to score 50 points every game. So from a fantasy perspective for Dynasty for the next couple of years, I like Prescott better than.
Are you going to say from a Dynasty perspective before each one of your picks?
Sorry. No, I'll try not to. I didn't realize I was doing that.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Mine is Lamar Jackson. I know he had a bad year last year. He has no wide receivers, man. If they can get him anything as a consistent target down there. We would have said the same thing about Josh Allen if I'd have thrown Josh Allen here at 3 a year ago. Dude came off an MVP season, had a down year last year, but his down year was still a QB1. And his passing game coordinator, who was terrible, left. He's the head coach of Houston. He's somebody else's problem. So things are going to get better. They just need to get him some weapons. If they can get him a good outside receiver that can get separation, not a Hollywood Brown who gets separation but can't close his hands. Hollywood Brown thinks separation means his hands separated. He's trying to catch a ball.
Hey,
but I still like Lamar Jackson. I mean, that's where I'm at with it. He's got the legs. We talk about the not being accurate with the ball, but I think he's accurate enough. He gets a lot of drops, a lot of problems come from his weapons that he has.
I think he's still a great quarterback, and I still think he's a good fantasy quarterback. I just didn't have him as high as 3. I'm not saying that I think he's bad by any stretch. Yeah. Obviously, if he's on your team, you're very happy with what he gives you fantasy-wise. I don't know how long he'll be able to do it, but right now, we don't even have rookies in our rankings. So a lot of these guys, age-wise, Lamar Jackson's got plenty left in the tank. There are guys who I have ranked not very far behind him that have a lot less years left. So I think Lamar Jackson, I think he's a fine pick. I don't see anything wrong with that.
And, I mean, the reason I took him over Kyler Murray is I think Kyler Murray, his build is going to – they're both very good of kind of getting away from contact. But Kyler Murray's slight frame does worry me a little bit when he looks like he's running around out there and he looks like the little Pee Wee football star.
Well, not
He
everyone
is
can
so
be.
shifty though. It's
I
impressive.
know he is
to
very
watch.
shifty. But when
But he will
signed,
slow down. He will slow
Dak
down.
was shifty too, and then he went to cut, and that ankle
All
didn't go
right,
with him.
all right.
Well, that's not very nice. I don't agree with that. But.
All right. Who do you got at number 4? I got Kyler Murray. Josh already talked about him. Eric, who do you have?
I have Lamar Jackson at 4.
Okay.
Rushing upside, plus hopefully, like you said, they do get some more playmakers there. But his rushing upside just a little bit too high for me to put him any lower. Plus, again, a little bit better frame. He does know how to slide. He gets out of bounds. He doesn't really take any big hits. So I like Jackson there at 4.
I decided to go with Dak Attack. He was throwing for over 450 yards a game.
Yeah.
How could you go against that? Obviously, this offense is going to be great because the defense is going to be terrible. Let's go.
Yeah. And you talked about playmakers, Brad. That's why I put Dak ahead of Jackson because he's got CeeDee Lamb, he's got Amari Cooper, he's got Zeke, he might have
Kyle Pitts.
hits. We'll see. We'll see
what
they do in the draft.
Falls down to that far.
No, if not, then Jerry Jones will go out there and he'll be like, you know, I can really use that Jamar Chase feller. I really like him. I think I'll go ahead and grab me one of them too.
Gallup is nothing to slouch out. He's good in that offense. So, yeah, I like. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, I agree. And you know how much I agree? That my number 5 person is Dak Prescott. Like, I started to go and then I was doing my list and I got to like 10 and I was like, wait, I forgot Dak. He's been a QB1 every year except for last year when he got hurt.
And he was on pace to have just as good of a year that he did in 2019, only he was going to throw for more yards. And he almost threw for 5,000 in 2019. It was 4,900. I mean, he was going to have roughly the same amount of touchdowns, interceptions, same rushing yards. I mean, everything was good, only his completion percentage was better, 68%. So Dak was going to be great last year.
Exactly. So I think we're all good.
He played 5 games and he finished right behind Andy Dalton, who took over for him. So,
yep.
Very
good.
Eric, who do you have at number 5?
Justin Herbert.
Whoa.
Okay.
Whoa.
So when it comes to Dynasty, I tend to lean towards the younger guys more so when I'm looking at rankings. But he was fantastic last year. Finished right behind right ahead of Lamar Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
31 touchdowns, 10 picks. The thing I didn't realize, though, he ran for 5 touchdowns, and he's a big fella. He's good in the red zone. He's good with that short yardage work there, and he's got good weapons. He's got Keenan Allen. He's got Austin Eckler. Sadly, Hunter Henry left, but we'll see who they draft in
they got
coming up here in 2 weeks. But they got Jared Cook.
Went to Jared.
Yeah, so
they went to Jared.
Great red zone threat. I think he's going to be just fine. He looked great last year, and I don't think he might sophomore slump, but I think in Dynasty, take Justin Herbert. He's young. He looked great. He'll play well for a long time.
What were you going to say?
Nothing. I wasn't going to say anything.
You sure? Okay.
Josh, who do you have at number 5?
I went with Lamar Barr. I decided it was I couldn't put him any lower. 5 is about as far as I can push him.
The legs give you such a good floor. Like,
yeah, he's phenomenal. He's an incredible quarterback to watch. I love him.
Okay. Let's go number 6 here. Let's Eric, you want to hit it off at number 6?
Kyler Murray. So
okay.
Couldn't go any lower than this. I worry that I've worried that we reached his ceiling. I
worry about his red zone work. I worry about him in the red zone.
Yeah. But I also worry about
Cardinals are great.
I worry about him getting better as a passer. Like is he going to keep are they developing him? Is he going to keep getting better as a passer? He almost threw for 4,000 yards. His completion percentage was pretty good, but 26 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. I worry he has trouble seeing the field because he's smaller and they have Hopkins, but they haven't really added any real weapons other than Connor if he's healthy. We'll see what they do in the draft, but I like his rushing upside. That's great. But as a passer, I don't love him.
Okay. Josh, who do you have at number 6?
As much as it pains me to say it because I don't like him as a human being, I decided to go with the Russ bus.
Yes.
Wow.
I don't feel great about it.
Consistency is key.
Yeah, I mean, the dude threw 40 touchdowns last year. That was the best season he's had statistically his entire career. So I'm not going to shortchange him for that. He still ran for over 500 yards. He only had 2 rushing touchdowns, so that hurt him a little bit. But 4,200 yards passing, 40 touchdowns, 40. He did throw 13.
He ain't losing his weapons.
No, I mean, it's like I said, the offense is the same. They tried to perk it up a little bit on the offensive line. They're trying to make things better up there. I mean, it's tough to argue with it. I mean, Russ gives you consistency. And he's still a great player. He's going to be great for your fantasy team, and I think he's still going to be good for another 5 or 6 years. So I can't knock him. That's it. Russ bus.
I agree with you. So he's our first 30-year-old on the board, right?
He's your first 30-year-old on the board.
Okay, yeah, the first one we've mentioned, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, okay. I'm going to mention another one at number 7. I'm going with the host of Jeopardy himself, Aaron Rodgers.
Hey!
Oh.
Josh, is that where you're at?
He's the MVP, bro.
I know, man. Like, we always count him out, and he's a top 10 quarterback even when he's bad.
Can't count.
So, and he's got Devontae Adams. Maybe they add him a weapon and get him something, in this wide receiver draft.
Maybe.
What do you think?
They haven't drafted a skill position player in the first round since him.
Guys, Aaron Rodgers.
Who did they take last year in the first year?
What's that?
Who did they take last year in the first round?
Oh,
Jordan.
Okay. Technically,
guys,
all right.
Guys, he threw the ball 526 times last year.
Yep.
Now, the reason that I point that out is because his completion percentage was 70.7%.
Is that good?
Well, it's the best that he's had his entire career that he was the starter. The best. And he was 37 years old last year?
Yes, 37.
That's
48
insane.
touchdowns, 5 picks.
And he doesn't look like he's falling off. Like, this isn't Peyton Manning at 37.
No.
He looks fine. The only thing I have is, do the Packers piss him off enough to quit?
Then he'll go a la Tom Brady and find a Tampa Bay situation where they have 5 freaking receivers and 2 tight ends he could throw the ball to, and he'll be fine. He'll be fine. I'm not worried about Aaron Rodgers at all.
Will he do what Brady does and take a discount? Because he's never taken one before.
No, he would get oodles of money from whatever.
Remember,
team.
he waited for Matt Ryan to sign a deal so he could be the highest.
He is petty. He is very petty.
Yeah.
He would get a fat check from somebody, but he would still be good. So
yes, but I that's why I go Aaron Rodgers at 7. Who do you have, Eric?
I have Joe Burrow at 7.
Okay.
I can see it.
Going young.
Going
You
young.
worry at all? So we're talking, obviously, we're a dynasty perspective, but this year, what do you expect from Joe Burrow coming off that injury?
ACL is a 2-year injury for me. I don't think he'll have a good year this year. He'll have a down year. I can't wait to see what they do in the draft. I pray that they take Penny Sewell. But
he's been lobbying for his boy.
I know he wants his boy, which is cool, but he needs protection.
Don't do it, Joe. Do it, Joe.
Yeah. So
he definitely needs protection.
I think he has a down year this year coming back from the knee. I think he'll be real tentative in the pocket. He'll be worried about guys around his feet. But after that, once he gets settled in again, the following his 3rd year in the league, I think hopefully they'll have addressed those offensive line needs in the draft and free agency, and I think he'll be good to go fantasy wise for a long time.
Okay. And you know what? I kind of agree with you because guess who I got at number 8? Joe Burrow.
Hey,
number 8. And
he is throwing again.
Well, yeah, he's throwing again. Medicine is amazing now. People do so much. Like, they can make stuff happen. I'm not worried. The ACL doesn't work. Like you said, I worry a little bit about him when people are diving at his knees and what that does. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah. When I say 2-year, like a 2-year injury, I mean that more from like a mental perspective. Like his body will be ready. But
because even Brady, his first year back from his ACL, that's the first thing. When somebody dives to your legs, is it going to take? So
Yeah. I decided to go with Justin Herbert here.
Okay.
Eric already talked about him. I like his upside. I did choose him over Joey Burrow, mostly just because of the injury. I think we know what Justin Herbert will give you, even in a surprise situation where he didn't know he was going to be the starter. He turned out to be a pretty darn good one last year. I like what he was able to offer. We'll see what happens to the new coaching staff and some changes over there, but I still think Justin Herbert's going to be a fine quarterback.
do you guys worry at all about the coaching change in LA affecting Justin Herbert negatively, where Joe Burrow is going to keep same coach, and I think he's kind of tied to his coach right there, because usually coaches that take a quarterback young, they're kind of tied to him. So I think they're going to have a more stable situation.
I mean, it's possible.
That's why I haven't picked Herbert yet. That's what I worry about. I worry about the revolving door at offensive coordinator, where I know Joe Burrow, his head coach, is the offensive coordinator.
I mean,
or better or worse.
It's a factor you have to consider. And Keenan Allen isn't young, but he's not old either. Losing Hunter Henry hurts. Hopefully Eckler stays healthy. But just watching Herbert last year.
Joe Burrow ain't afraid to throw the ball 50 times a game. I'm just saying.
No, he's not. But Herbert will be okay. I think he'll make whatever offense he's in, he'll make it work. He's a guy that will carry an offense versus an offense that has to carry him, kind of thing.
Yeah, and he's got Joe Lombardi there. Got Joe Lombardi there, so
I don't know who Joe Lombardi is.
Joe Lombardi was with Cam during the MVP season.
Oh, okay.
Very good.
You've got some options there. That's
got some juice. Got some juice.
He will ideally, like that Cam season, he plays to Herbert's strengths.
Yes.
Hopefully he can analyze what he's got in those guys and his playmakers, and he can make it work to the best of their abilities, as opposed to trying to pigeonhole them into a system. Yeah.
Yep. And right after Herbert, for me, I had Joey Burrow. I like his upside. I like what he's able to do. So he's my number 9 guy. Brad?
Well, you want my number 9? It's Herbert.
Okay.
They're tied together, man.
Yeah.
I think for both of us, they're all kind of just tied together for all of us, because
all right.
I worry about the sophomore slump.
I do too, a little bit.
If we did this, like, what was it, 3 years ago now, Baker Mayfield would have been like, oh, Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
To Lamar Jackson.
Well, he had to overcome a lot. He had 3 different head coaches 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not too upset with what Baker had to deal with. Anyway,
8 or 9?
9.
9. Did you give your 8? Who's your 8? I think you skipped your 8.
So,
yeah, Josh jumped the gun here.
I'm going to put
bad.
It's okay. Oh, man. No, I'm just going to say it. Tua. I believe in Tua. I like Tua at 8.
No, that was a terrible decision. Terrible
That's
decision.
okay. It's my rankings.
He's staying young.
No, I know.
He's sticking with his thing. He hasn't said a guy over 30 yet.
I believe in Tua. I think he's going to be a good quarterback. I still think what he did at Alabama, I think that will translate to the NFL. They're going to get a playmaker at 6. Whoever it is, they're going to get a playmaker. And I think they'll be okay. Devontae Parker's good.
He's not in the Nick Saban camp where he's going to go to Miami for 2 years and be out?
It could happen, and I might look like a fool. But for right now, I believe in Tua. I think he's going to be good.
I think, he's got a lot of potential. I'm not arguing with that. I think he just wasn't still right physically last year. We'll see what happens, especially if they actually do decide to have an offseason this year. That'll help as well. So,
if the coaching staff can decide to, okay, yep, we're going with Tua, we're sticking with Tua versus, we're putting Tua in. We're trying to win. Let's yank out. Let's put Fitz back in. So, I didn't like that.
I think as much as they did it, though, it probably really wasn't that bad for his psyche after the end of it. Going back and forth like that, I think if they would have pulled him and never given him the opportunity again for the rest of the season, that would have been different. Yeah, but as much as it did, it was a 1A, 1B kind of situation, and I think it was all right.
I just like his numbers aren't horrible. 64% completions. He ran for 3 touchdowns. He had 11 touchdowns. He did have 5 interceptions, but in the limited amount of playing time, those aren't terrible numbers.
And he's a lefty.
That's a problem.
Hopefully, he's working with the receivers. They're getting used to the
So, Eric, was that your 8 or 9?
Tua was my 8.
Okay, so who is your 9?
Deshaun Watson. I understand that it's a very murky situation right now, but I still have him in my top 10. I don't love his situation, but he's still Deshaun Watson. And that defense is terrible. He's going to have to throw the ball a ton. He's going to have to run the ball a ton. He's going to put up stats if he's healthy. What's that?
Talking about Tyrod Taylor? Because that's who's playing this year for that team.
Yeah.
Well, that remains to be seen. But as of right now, he has not been on the commissioner's exempt list or anything like that. So, yeah, he was, quarterback 5 last year, 33 touchdowns, ran for 3 touchdowns. He's still awesome, and he's 25 years old. So
yeah, and I think realistically, I would have had him up there at number 3, right behind Josh Allen. For me, if he was still playing this year. But like you said, you can't. And if you haven't already traded him in Dynasty, you're kind of in a wait and hold kind of thing. You can't give him up for peanuts, and you certainly can't drop him. So you kind of just have to wait and see. I traded him in one league. I had him in a super flex league. I was able to get rid of him, but I have him in another just single QB league where there's not too much pressure. And I was like, you know what? Let's just wait. We'll see what happens. Because if he is able to play football again, he's going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the game. But if he's not, I mean, it's not going to be good, Bob. But we'll see. I had him right below you at 10. That's where I had him.
Josh, who was your 9?
My 9 was Joey Burrow.
Okay, mine was Herbert. So now we're on 10.
Yeah, I just don't know if I could put him in the top 5 with the weapons he has and the just ridiculous situation he's in. No matter what.
Yeah, understandable. Completely understandable.
Let's talk about quarterbacks that matter. Number 10, I got Ryan Tannehill, boys.
He doesn't matter.
He doesn't matter, but he's been a QB1 his whole time.
I love Tannehill. Love
play action with Derrick Henry. He's got A.J. Brown there who played hurt all year, but was just fine. You can say he lost Corey Davis, but, I mean, they'll find something to replace that.
That's not
that worried about that. Exactly. With Derrick Henry there, you gotta load the box. So
never hurts.
Yeah.
He's so efficient. I love him. I love Tannehill. Yeah. He's great.
It's amazing
what
Adam Gase will do.
Right.
Who do you have at 10, Eric?
I have Aaron Rodgers. My first over 30 quarterback, Aaron Rodgers.
Wow,
we said it earlier, 48 touchdowns, 5 picks, and he still ran for 3 touchdowns, and he doesn't look like he's slowing down anytime soon. So more of a win now kind of situation. Yeah. But
I think I'm about to get into serious win now mode because after 10, the guys I was pushing down because of age, I couldn't push many down any farther.
All right.
Even though it is Dynasty. So who do you got at 11 there, Josh?
I decided to go with Stat Mafford.
Okay.
I like his situation in LA a lot. We know that they're going to surround him with good weapons. We know what the defense is. We know that they are in win now mode. I think that they're going to sit there. And Jared Goff, you got to remember, his first season with Sean McVay, he was a QB1. He was very successful his next season. He kind of slowly just fell off when they realized his limitations. They've done the scouting homework on Matt Stafford. They know what he's about. They know what he's going to be able to give them from a physical standpoint. I think they like him. They said that he was going to be their quarterback for the future for the next 5 or 6 years. So I like Stafford this year. I love Robert Woods, and I love Cooper Kupp to have a great bounce-back season this season as well. Matt Stafford is going to be a QB1. I would be shocked if he isn't.
My number 11 is straight up win now. It's Tom Brady. Another year running it back with the same offense. He's got his timing down with his weapons of Godwin and Evans. Gronk is going to be there. O.J. Howard coming off injury too. Nobody talks about that.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah, so I like the Tom Brady with all his weapons back again. Because we saw it towards the end of the year. He started lighting it up. And now if you're going to tell me we can get Tom with all these guys who know what he wants and how he wants to play, yeah. I mean, he's got Julian Edelman with people saying Hall of Fame next to Julian Edelman's name. So Tom Brady did that. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
So he might only be there for 1 year, but I can't push him down anymore, man.
Julian Edelman's not going to the Hall of Fame.
No, he's not. But still, that's all I'm saying is he's in that conversation, which is crazy.
Because he's a winner. He's a winner.
Yep.
Julian Edelman's a winner. Can't argue with that. All right.
Okay. Josh, you give your 11?
I did. Easy E.
Okay, Eric.
11. Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
So again, 40. We talk about it, 40 touchdowns.
Yep.
He still runs for a ton. Hopefully they get back to the running game. He's a little bit more efficient next year, and he doesn't throw it over 500 times because I don't think that's what they want to do. And I think he's better when he's in with play action and picking his spots. So yeah,
my number 12 is Matt Stafford because him with that offense, best offensive coordinator, head coach he's had his career. Good things. Eric, who do you have at 12?
Tannehill.
Okay.
I really wanted to put him right ahead of Wilson, but the rushing upside from Wilson, I couldn't do it. Although Tannehill had 7 rushing touchdowns last year, which is pretty crazy. So 40 total touchdowns for Tannehill, and he's just ultra efficient. I love him.
Yep. Josh, who do you have at 12?
Tannehill.
Okay.
You can't
You
argue.
can't
with
keep
it.
out QB1. You can't keep out QB1 talking. I think that's what we're at.
That's it.
Did you guys do tier breaks at all? Did you group guys in tiers
Not
at
really.
all?
Not really.
Okay.
I did not.
I
So
probably
if
should.
anybody cares, Watson is my tier 1 break, which is actually quite a lot of guys. It's 9 guys. So, but tier 2, Rodgers, Wilson, Tannehill, and then the next guys are tier 3 for me.
Okay. Lucky number 13, Josh. Who you got at 13?
Well, they decided to go with the baker's dozen, Bob. Go with
What?
Baker
What?
Mayfield.
What?
Yeah, I like what I saw last year, guys. I mean,
Okay.
All
Kevin
his weapons were
Stefanski got
hurt.
him right.
Everybody was
Yeah.
dead.
Kevin Stefanski got him right, man. I like what I saw to Baker. I think the future's bright up there in Cleveland. The factory of sadness is no more. They were in the playoffs last year, boys.
If you can get Odell healthy and a Kevin Stefanski offense, Josh muted himself.
He did.
Got you right.
Eric, who do you have at 13?
13. Brady. Tom Brady.
Okay.
Still getting it done. We're in win now territory with these guys. They're all older, but man, he's still getting it done. Good for you, Tom.
All right. Josh, you got 14. Let's try to power through some of these, see how deep we can go.
Love hurts, Brad. Love hurts. Jalen Hurts.
I could put him high. I don't expect much, and I don't think he's going to be a long-term guy there. That was my problem with him. He might be a one-hit, two-hit wonder, but
I forgot about him honestly for a while. Like I was doing the list and I scrolled down on the past season stats and I was like, oh crap, Jalen Hurts is there. I was going
through the list and I don't want to give away who is my next guy, but I couldn't put him above a guy that he replaced. So I couldn't put him below a guy he replaced. So
yeah, I think I know where we're going. My 14 is Matt Ryan. Okay, he's got a couple more years there. Still going to be putting up. Defense still going to be bad. He's still going to be throwing for yards. If he can just fumble the ball into the end zone a few times. Matt Ryan. I mean, the yardage are there. Eric, do you have 14?
Stafford. Matty Stafford.
15. Eric, who you got?
The other Matty Ryan.
Okay.
So, still got Julio. Still got Calvin Ridley. They might get
maybe has him at Kyle Pitts.
We'll see. Don't know. Could get interesting there at 4. We'll see what happens. He's still going to throw for a ton. That defense is terrible. Just like Dak's situation. Good playmakers on offense, terrible defense. So, no run game.
Who do you have there at 15?
15, I said I go with Carson Wentz. I feel very good about his new situation in Indianapolis. I think he turned things around. I think he was humbled quite a bit. So I think that's good for him. We'll see what happens.
He's my 16 pick. I had to give this guy. He's been a QB1 last year after he lost his number 1 weapon. Kirk Cousins. We don't like him. It ain't flashy, boys, but he just averages his way right in there every year.
He does.
So
man, it must be great being a Vikings fan.
Just being a Kirk Cousins, man. You're I don't know if I want to say you're good. I'm gonna say you're good. You're a solid good.
You're average NFL quarterback.
And he won a primetime game, so everything's turning up in his life.
Everything's coming up aces.
Yeah. Number 16, I had Carson Wentz. I really like what they can do in Indianapolis with that offensive line, with Frank Wright, who he had his best season under. Yep. Eric, who do you have at number 16?
I put Jalen Hurts at 16 just because one season, maybe two, like you said. I agree with you, Brad. I don't think he's going to be long-term.
He can prove us all wrong.
He could. His rushing upside is really nice. He got a lot of carries in those few games that he played. So, yeah, I think he'll be okay.
He has no weapons to wide receiver. That's what really.
Yeah, and that offensive line is still not good. So it worries me, but he's got upside. So I like Hurts there at 16.
Yeah. Josh, who do you have at 16?
Tua time, baby.
Oh, okay.
They're trying to do everything they can to help the guy be successful. So I feel good about it. I mean, they did bring in Will Fuller, the fifth. He's got plenty of options over there. I think they're going to continue to boast the team around him and help him try to be successful. So I like Tua a lot. And I think his future's bright. They're going to at least give him the opportunity to be good.
My next two guys are really I think they could boom for you this year, and then they're probably done. But Big Ben is my next one at 17. All right.
Okay.
The Swan Song, bionic elbow with his –
Not – nope.
Yep. Big Ben, number 17. Who you got, Eric, 17?
I like Baker at 17. Good playmakers, great running game to protect them. Hopefully OBJ is back to being his OBJ self next year, taking slants to the house. We'll see what happens.
Josh, who do you have at number 17?
I decided to go with the old golf ball, bud. I want Jared Goff to do well. Yeah,
he's my 24th. I'm gonna say it because he's not there. Like I had put him.
Yeah, he's way down the list for me too.
I got a soft spot for Jared Goff, guys. I just
no weapons.
I don't know what it is
in Detroit.
Yeah, you want to hear his wide receiver depth chart?
No, I don't. Because I ain't got time for that.
Me neither. Oh,
he's still got Hawkinson, man. You know, Swifty. I got a soft spot for Jared Goff.
Moving on. 17, I got Cam.
Okay.
When he was healthy last year, he looked good. I think COVID really messed him up last year, and he just couldn't get back right. And he tried doing too much.
All right.
Even towards the end of the year, he started looking good the last couple weeks of the season. So you give me Cam in this Patriots offense. Maybe he learns it a little better with no offseason. They can work a couple more things around him. Maybe get him a weapon. I don't know. Find a weapon.
Well, they got Nelson Aguilar.
Exactly.
2 tight ends. Kendrick Bourne. So things are really looking up, maybe ish.
It's not worse than last year.
Can't be.
That's true.
Nope.
Yeah.
Who do you have at 7 or was it 18? 18 there, Eric.
Kirk Cousins. Like you said, can't stand him. But
come on.
He gets it done.
That's where I got him. 18.
Way better than that, boys. Ain't no upside. It's all floor.
It's all floor. That's your floor.
Floor and the ceiling are right here. But they're a solid right there at the QB 1-2 range.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Number 19, I got Sam Darnold. I think if he can get that starting job in Carolina, I think he can do more than Teddy Two Gloves can.
I would agree with you.
I like Sam Darnold a lot.
Yep. Who do you have at 19 there, Josh? Let's try to get through 24. We can make it through 24.
Matty Ice.
Okay.
Ooh, okay.
Eric, 19?
Wentz for me. Haven't named him yet.
I really just want to get to 20. I got the bearded wonder Fitzpatrick, baby.
Oh,
no, it's probably just this year and this year only. But
get out of here.
For the Washington football team, him, Ron Rivera, match made in heaven. They've been working their whole careers to get to this point. Antonio Gibson, Terry McLaurin, probably the best weapons he's had in his career since Stevie Johnson. Yeah, that's been a while, boys. He made Stevie Johnson relevant.
Well, that's fair.
I don't know. I think those weapons he had in Tampa were pretty good. I mean, Mike Evans.
Were they, though? I mean, they were
Mike
good.
Evans.
They're all right. Chris Godwin.
I mean, pretty good.
He made them. Right? Who do you have at 20? Okay, Josh.
I got Derek Carr.
Okay.
The Carr. Yeah, I like Derek Carr.
Who's he throwing to besides Waller this year?
Yeah, now that Nelson Aguilar's not muddying things up.
Henry Ruggs can do his stuff.
He can go really fast. really, really fast though. Like
Didn't they
He went
get
some other routes like
They got 2 rookie receivers
slow
last year,
down and
didn't
run
they?
fast again. Byron Edwards.
Brian Edwards.
Lynn Bowden.
Lynn Bowden.
Lynn
No,
Bowden.
Didn't they trade for Lynn Bowden?
They traded him away.
Oh, they traded him away to Miami. That's right. My bad.
Goolsby.
Did you give your 20, Eric?
No, Big Ben.
Big Ben. Okay. 21 for me is Tua time. I couldn't put him any higher, man. I've seen nothing out of him. And I don't know what that offense is like down there.
That's fair.
So I don't know what they're going to do. Defense is really good. I think they're going to play keep away a lot. Josh, who do you have at 21?
I went with Daniel Jones. Real quick, the reason being is he's still very young.
You're brave, soul.
He's still very young, and they're going to continue to give him opportunities because the GM is stupid and just refuses to admit that he was wrong. They gave him Kenny Golladay as well. They're trying to surround him with some decent weapons. Hopefully Saquon Barkley comes back healthy. I think he's going to have a chance. He has a good chance. Some of these guys are older than him, and their careers are fleeting. I think Daniel Jones can be successful.
Okay.
All right, Eric.
Cam Newton for me. Rushing
21?
outside plus new offensive weapons. I think he finished 15th last year. I don't know why he couldn't do any better than that, or at least stay there.
22 for me is Hurts. He's behind Tua because I think Tua will probably have a starting job longer than him.
Okay.
Fair.
Who do you got at 22, Josh?
Mr. Avocado Ice Cream himself, Tom Brady, TB12.
So low, man.
Well, he is 44 years old, bud.
Yeah, but you don't think he'll be a QB1 again this year? I think this year alone he'll be a QB1.
Yep, which is why he's my 22nd player on the list.
I don't know if Tua or Sam Darnold or some of these other guys will ever be a QB1 again.
So in the last 11 years, Brady has only fallen out of the top 10 4 times.
Yep.
And he was still like 12, 13, and 14.
And he
like
played
3
in
of those
terrible
seasons.
weather.
That's fair. Now he plays in really nice weather.
Yeah.
Really nice.
Everybody give 22?
Eric didn't.
I have Darnold there, upside, young. Hopefully Matt Rule and the boys there can get him straight. We'll see what happens.
All right. 23. Eric, who you got?
Goff. He's got a starting job. It's not great, but I like him better than the rest of the guys out here.
Josh, who you got at 20? Josh,
I got
who you got at
Darnold.
23?
I got Darnold.
Okay. I got Carr at 23. I got Goff at 24. 24, Eric, go.
Carr.
Josh?
I got Jameis Winston edging out Cam Newton, my boy.
Doesn't even have a starting job. We'll see that.
So we've named 25 quarterbacks because you didn't name Cam and you named Winston. So we named 25 quarterbacks. That means there are 7 quarterbacks left, 32 teams. Can we name those other 7 starters?
Well,
I didn't name Danny Jones, but he did.
Oh, okay. So we have 6. Yeah, he named Danny Jones. So we need 6.
Yeah.
well, yeah, I could name them, but they might be different by the time the season starts.
Andy Dalton for the Bears.
Andy Dalton is one.
Drew Lock.
Jimmy G.
Drew
Lock.
Drew Lock. Trevor's going to be the starter in Jacksonville.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't do Gardner Minshew, so we didn't do a Jacksonville starter.
Yeah.
And I
We knew
think
that.
Trevor Lawrence will probably be in all our top 10s.
Yeah.
I would put a couple if we had included rookies. I think a couple of them would have cracked my top 12. Yeah.
So we didn't put a Jacksonville guy there. What's the other team we didn't do? There should be 2 more teams, right? Or one more? I'm asked bad.
Well, we didn't do the Jets. We didn't do the Jets. We didn't do the Jags.
We don't know. Yeah, we really don't know who's gonna. I mean, we all assume it's
the Jets and Jags. We don't know who's going to be there.
Yeah,
probably going to be a rookie.
And we didn't bring up the 49ers either. Jimmy G.
Jimmy G. Yeah. So those are the guys we didn't bring up.
Teddy Two Gloves.
Yeah, Teddy Two Gloves. But we did bring up Darnold, so we did bring up a Carolina.
Yeah.
And nobody thinks Dalton's going to have a resurgence there with. He could be the best quarterback Allen Robinson's ever had.
That is true. That's true.
So sad.
Can we say that?
Makes me hurt.
Yeah, but he signed that
Wow,
$18 million tender and
that
took
man
it, didn't he? He took that $18 million, though, didn't he? Sure did.
Is this what Isaac Bruce did for his whole career in St. Louis until Kurt Warner showed up?
Yeah. Exactly.
Like he was just – yeah. Did the power go out for Eric again? The power went out on Eric again. So, in that note, you want to send us home, Josh?
Will do.
I'm going to do music with it.
Thanks for tuning in to the Empty Wagon Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm Josh. That was Brad and Eric. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Empty Wagon FF. Brad's going to be at Tack Jones. Eric is at GunsofL19, and I'm at FF Josh Hughes. Please check out our website at fsa-fr.com. We love you, and we will see you next week.